All right. Today we're going to read a book called Weather Matters.
Ooh, this is pretty.
Okay. So what do you guys see on the front cover of this?
Snow in the truck.
In a truck, Christopher?
I see winter.
Winter? Anybody else notice anything different?
The trees. The trees are frozen.
The trees are frozen, yeah. So that's definitely winter. Christopher, you have something else?
There's no leaves.
There's no leaves, yeah. So it's definitely winter. So we're going to see in this book, maybe we'll learn about the weather in the different seasons or just weather in general. But this is by Marilyn J. Salomon. And before we start this book, do you guys know what cause and effect is? No?
You haven't talked about it with Miss Hanley yet? Okay, well, we can talk a little bit about cause and effect because we're going to try and talk about that at the end, but it's okay that you don't know it yet because she told us that we're just kind of touching on it. So if you have cause and effect, cause, does anybody have a guess on what cause might be? What do you think, Kylie?
It could like cause something.
Okay, so it causes something to happen. So an example that we were going to give you is if it rains outside, that causes the playground to be wet and then we can't go outside, right? That kind of makes sense? All right.
So the rain is the cause, and that we can't go out on the playground is an effect. Can you guys think of any other examples?
When it's storming and lightning, and when it's raining, you might want to play when it's raining, but the lightning is the thing.
Do you think a lightning can be an effect of the clouds in the sky? Christopher?
If it's too hot, you can't go outside.
If it's
That's
too hot,
right.
you can't go outside. Yes.
So what's the cause of that sentence that you just said? Which one's the cause? Is it being too hot or you can't go outside?
Too hot.
Okay, and the effect is if it's too hot, you can't go outside. Yeah, does that make sense? Okay.
Okay. Just keep your eye out for cause and effects in here, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it after, okay? So everybody open up to page 1.
And make sure we're using our pointer fingers to follow along as we all read, okay?
Match your pointer fingers, and I want you guys to all read and try to stay at the same pace, okay? So the first page, what is weather? Everybody ready? Thumbs up if you're ready. Okay. It is morning. You look outside to see what the weather is like. It is warm enough to have a picnic. It is windy enough to fly a kite. Is it raining so hard that you have to wear boots? Okay, top of the next page. Weather is air, wind, rain, and many other outdoor conditions. You can learn some things about the weather by looking out the window or stepping outside. But you can get a lot more information by using weather tools. They tell us what we need to know about all kinds of weather. So our next page, title is Hot or Cold. Everybody ready?
Okay, Carson.
Some days you can wear shorts and sandals. Other days you need layers of clothes to stay warm. The temperature of the air matters to you. It helps you know what clothing to wear. Air temperature matters to farmers too. They need warm days so their fruits and vegetables will grow. On cold days, farmers may need heaters outside so their crops will not freeze. Next page. We can measure the exact temperature of the air. We use a tool called a thermometer. Did anybody on this page see anything that could be a cause and effect? Read it in your head real quick and see if you can find something. Okay? You already know? See if everybody
Hold on
else
to your
knows.
thought then. Remember to raise your hand so we're not all talking over each other. Just think about it.
No, come back.
You got something? You just thinking? You can look back and think. Okay. All right. Hold on to that.
Alright, if you think you have something, raise your hand in there. Christopher, what do you think?
The farmers need to put heaters outside or the crops cannot freeze.
Okay, that's a good one. So what's the cause and what's the effect in that? It's gonna make it freeze. Okay. What do the farmers do so it doesn't freeze? They put heaters outside. So it could be that they put heaters outside. So
That the crops don't freeze and that they can grow.
yeah. Do you have another one, Andrew?
Frozen potatoes are not good to eat because if they're frozen, you can't eat them. And the effect is when you just can't eat them, and when they're frozen, you just can't eat them.
So the cause would be what? We can't eat them. Why?
Because they're frozen.
Right. Okay. Good job. You have another one, Kylie?
It's not, something is frozen is frozen, then they cause it not to eat.
Good job.
Okay. So let's look at
This green section down here.
the little box at the bottom. So how does it work? A thermometer is a glass tube with liquid inside. As the air outside gets hotter, the liquid moves up the tube. As the air gets colder, the liquid moves down. Numbers show the temperature in degrees. How many of you guys have seen a thermometer before somewhere?
That one in the picture is probably kind of different from the one that maybe you get your temperature taken with. That would be the one you'd like stick in your mouth, right? Does that look different?
Okay, next page. Okay, so this heading is windy or calm. A breeze can cool you off on a hot day, but when the temperature is low, wind can make the air feel even colder. Wind can blow dirt into your eyes. It can blow your hat off your head. Wind blows from different directions, such as north, south, east, and west. A tool called a wind vane points to the direction the wind is blowing from. Next page.
The next one.
The direction of the wind matters to fishermen. It gives clues about where to find different kinds of fish. Wind direction can help baseball players. A ball can go farther and faster when it is carried by the wind. Alright, y'all keep reading along, okay? Alright, so let's check out this bottom green part again, just like on the one before. And it says, how does it work? So this right here, what tool did we just read about? What do y'all think that picture is right there? Not the thermometer, that's close. That was on the page before. Right here. Right, where the wind is blowing from. That's called a wind vane. Alright, so it says, how does it work? Y'all read along with me? The wind moves the top part, we're on the green part, the top part of this wind vane. The arrow points towards the wind. There is a letter for each direction.
Which direction is the arrow pointing to? Alright, raise your hand if you know what direction the arrow is pointing to. Alright, Andrew. West, okay. Is that what you got too? Good job. Alright, wanna go to the next page? Alright, everybody get to the next page and then we'll start together. Good, Kelly? Alright, we're on the top of the first one here. We can also measure how fast the wind moves. A tool called an anemometer. Okay, everybody try and say that word? Anemometer, good job. An anemometer tells us the wind speed. The faster the wind blows, the faster the cups on the anemometer spin. On a very windy day, bridges may be closed because they are not safe for travelers. Strong winds can also spread brush fires far from where they start. Knowing how fast a fire is moving helps firefighters decide which tools to use to put it out. Alright, make sure you read it aloud, guys. Alright, so the green box on the second page, we're going to pick up there, okay? Alright, so how does it work? So what tool do you think this is? Which one did we just read about? That word's kind of hard to say. Everybody remember? This one? What do you think, Christopher?
Anemometer.
Good job.
Anemometer. Good job, guys.
Alright, so let's try and read this passage right here. This anemometer is small enough to hold in your hand. As the cups spin, a dial shows the wind speed. Wind is measured in miles per hour. Wind that blows at 35 or 40 miles an hour is very strong. Alright, next page. Alright, the heading here is wet or dry. Everybody ready? You got your pointer fingers out? Alright, let's start up here. Sometimes strong winds bring rain. The sky gets dark and the wind blows harder. Soon big raindrops begin to fall. Rain matters to everyone. If we don't get enough rain, we may not have enough water to drink. But too much rain can cause dangerous flooding. People can't get around because the streets are covered with water. We can measure the amount of rain that has fallen. We use a tool called a rain gauge.
Before we read about the rain gauge, did anybody see a word in there that we were talking about before the book? Or a topic that we're looking for in the book?
You can take a minute to look back and see and then raise your hand.
In that last section under wet or dry. Kylie?
Cause.
Did you guys see that sentence? But too much rain can cause dangerous flooding.
So what's the cause there? Go ahead,
You
Adrian.
can go drive, if you're already driving to a location, like a beach, a flood might come and it might be rushing toward the car.
Right, so what would the cause there be? If you were driving to the beach and you had to stop and maybe go back, why would we have to do that? Because what was
that
coming?
A flood.
There you go.
A flood.
Good job.
So flood is
If
the
it was
cause.
behind you, you had to go faster.
That might be trying to go faster to get away from it. That's right.
So the cause would be a flood, and the effect is that it's dangerous conditions for people.
You could drown.
Good, if you're not careful. Yep.
Okay, so let's read about how a rain gauge works. How does it work? Everybody ready? A rain gauge is a tall container that collects rain as it falls. This rain gauge has lines and numbers to show the amount of rain in inches. How much rainwater has fallen?
Raise your hands and look at the picture. And let's see how much rainwater has fallen.
1.
Raise your hand, James. Terrence.
1.
One what? What do we see? If it's measured, what do we say it was measured in?
A cup.
Not a cup, that's close, but look back here. if it measures the rain in what? In inches. So there's how much rain?
1 inch.
Good job, Terrence.
1 inch of rain. Does everybody see that? Did everybody get that? Does anybody need help understanding? Okay.
All right, everybody ready to go to the next page? All right.
Okay, now I see this.
4:30, 5 o'clock.
All right, well, let's read the caption here. The title of this page, Scientists Study the Weather. Everybody ready? All right. It can be windy, wet, sunny, or dry. Every kind of weather matters to people. Scientists called meteorologists study the weather every single day. They use tools to measure it. Meteorologists also use tools to predict what the weather will be tomorrow or next week. Every day, meteorologists send weather balloons high into the sky. The balloons carry weather tools and radio. The tools measure the temperature and the humidity or wetness in the air. The radio sends the information back to Earth. This information helps meteorologists predict rain and storms.
Does anybody notice what the pictures in this book are?
Real pictures.
Real pictures, okay. Can somebody raise their hand and tell me what that means then if it's real pictures? Kylie?
Photos.
Photos, okay. What else could it mean about the story? Andrew?
Maybe. I forgot.
What type of story do you think it is if it has real pictures? Fiction?
It's got
What
real
is
pictures
real
in it.
pictures?
What do you think, Kylie?
Non-fiction.
Non-fiction, good job. All right.
All right, we're on the next page. Everybody there? Go to the next one, Kylie. There you go. Meteorologists let us know what the weather will be. We get their weather reports on TV, radio, the internet, and in the newspapers. We can find out a lot about the weather, but sometimes it can surprise us.
He uses a newspaper now. You can only use them in the 19.
In the 19th?
Yeah, Kylie?
They're wearing that because it's raining outside.
Yeah, because it's raining.
All right, and then if you guys flip to the next page, does anybody know what that is on the back?
Glossary.
Christopher?
Glossary.
A glossary. And what can a glossary do? Kylie?
Helps out you find out words you don't know.
Words you don't know. So vocab words.
And I think I've heard Miss Hanley tell y'all before that the words that are throughout your story, how can you tell that they're going to be in the glossary? What is it? What's different about this word than all of these words? What do you know, Andrew?
It's darker.
It's darker, so it's a bold word, and that usually tells you that it's going to be in your glossary. So, you know, we didn't know what an anemometer was, and it tells us, but that should also be in your glossary too. Yeah, Kylie?
The red words on the glossary are the words that you might not understand.
Right, and there are the words that were in bold. Good job. That was good.
Okay.
Notice.
So we're going to do an activity that you can use your glossary for, or you can go back in the book. So up on the whiteboard, I wrote a little chart to organize the different tools that we read about in this book to help meteorologists and people learn about weather. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each one, and when you find the answer, I want you to practice writing it on your board, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah?
Give me a thumbs up if it makes sense. Christopher, Terrence.
Terrence, make sense?
Terrence, you still with us? Thumbs up?
Okay.
Alright.
So the first one we're going to look at is a thermometer. So a thermometer measures what? Write it on your whiteboard.
You can use your book to go back and look and see if you can't remember.
The glossary might help you, or
They say it in the glossary.
The green
Okay.
box is where we learned about the different tools. That might help you find your
You've got
answer.
the word up here on the board if you need to look in your glossary. It's right there. So find that word. So we want to know what the thermometer measures. Good job, Kristen.
Where's the glossary?
We're looking for a thermometer measures what?
Look at your glossary if you need to, Terrence.
I got it scrolled from there.
Okay. What does it measure though?
Eighth and
I like that you guys are practicing spelling thermometer too. It's a big word to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give you 20 more seconds to finish writing. Okay, can everybody tell me on the count of 3 what a thermometer measures?
a temperature.
Count of 3.
Temperature.
Temperature. Good job, guys.
Raise your hand if you used your glossary to find that out. None of y'all used the glossary?
I did.
You did? Well, then raise your hand.
Did anybody go back and read the page in the book about a thermometer? Christopher did. Good job.
Good job, y'all.
Okay, so the next one is a rain gauge measures what? What does a rain gauge measure?
You can go back in your book. Remember we said that we pointed out how much rain it had in it, so go see what the rain gauge measures.
Work on the next one.
You've got your glossary and you can go back to some pages in the book too.
The rate and how much water it drops.
Okay, so what do you think it measures?
How much water it drops.
Okay. So what does a rain gauge measure? Tell me on 3, okay?
Rain.
Rain. What about rain?
How much rain drop?
How much rain has fallen?
In an area, so you could get a rain gauge and put it outside of your house, and
Do you
maybe
have to put it beside your joke out?
you could just really put it anywhere outside, as long as rain can get into it. You could put it on top of the roof, yeah. And you might get more rain than I might get because I don't live as close to you.
I just took a good genie live.
I live kind of far from here.
Okay. The next vocab word that we learned is a wind vane. So a wind vane tells what? What does a wind vane tell us?
Keep doing just like you're doing. Go back in your glossary, or maybe you just remember, or if you need to look back on a page.
And if you finish early, if you want, you can draw a picture about what type of weather goes along with the tool.
Yep.
I don't know what the thing is on.
Oh, look for these words right here. We're looking for wind vane. A wind vane measures what? And you can look in your glossary too. You don't have to go on the page. Andrew, can you tell me more about because he has a wind vane, so tell me about.
I know, I told him I got to see him twice in one day.
Do you know about the wind that a wind vane does? Do you know what it measures?
I saw those.
Okay, so it's a tool that you use to show the direction of wind vane. So we're going to take a picture.
It is.
Good job, Paige. Just wait patient, okay?
I can draw a picture.
You can draw a picture of the weather. Alright, so this is a wind vane. So what direction do we say it's going? Which weather is it going to? Yeah. So that tells us what direction it's going. That makes sense. So if it blows and it's going to go around, it might be going south. Does that make sense?
Okay. Can you guys tell me what a wind vane tells? Everybody ready? No?
Yes, yes.
Do you know what it is, Christopher, even if you didn't finish writing it? Okay.
I'm
Tell
gonna
me.
say it.
Once the
can say it,
wind is going, it tells you where the wind is going.
The direction that the
What
wind is.
direction the wind is going. Good job, guys.
Okay. Wasn't there something used to be right there?
Do it.
There's something used to be right there.
Probably so. I'm not sure what.
Okay, so the last weather tool that we learned about was the anemometer. The word that was kind of hard to say.
That's
So
what
you
you
guys-
guys saying it. So
yeah.
go back and find it. You can find it there or again in your glossary.
So look and find what an anemometer measures.
All right, Carson, let's wrap up your picture and do this one, okay? If you can find it. If you've got some room, you just squeeze it up on there. You don't want to erase that. Looking for an anemometer.
Okay. Does everybody know the answer even if they didn't finish writing?
Yes. I
Okay.
didn't know it.
Okay, wait. What's an anemometer?
It tells how speed the wind is going.
The speed the wind is going. Good job, guys. So, remind me really quick where you can find in a book the definitions of vocab words that might be kind of hard or something that you didn't know about. Christopher? Glossary. Is there anywhere else that you can look sometimes? Kylie?
Index.
In the index?
The table of contents.
The table of contents? That might not have your vocab words, but did some of you just look in the book on the page that the word was on? Did the author usually give you a description after the word?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's multiple places that you can find the answers to vocab words. So good job on that. You guys can erase your boards. And then Miss Peak is going to talk about another activity with you guys.
All right, we're gonna do one more thing with this, okay? So for Ms. Hanley's group, I'm not sure if it's this group or not, but have y'all talked about the hand five with the main idea? All right, so where's our main idea gonna go for pointing at our hand? Raise your hand and tell me, Kylie.
It's gonna go on each finger.
Well, the main idea, we're gonna start with, we're gonna put stuff on each finger, but where's the main idea gonna go? If it's the main thing we're talking about, where do you think?
Thumb.
That's a good guess. Not the thumb, we're gonna do it right in the center of the palm, okay? So right in the center of your hand. All right, so we're gonna talk about our main idea. So what's the main idea? What's this whole book about? Anybody else know?
I think you all know the answer to this.
Carson, what's this whole book that we read about? Weather. Okay, so what's our main idea? Is that our main idea? Okay. All right, so there's 5 of you, so I want, since instead of calling on you, I want you to all sit and think for a minute and come up with 5, so just one fact that you learned in this book. And there's a lot of facts in there, so let's try and come up with something different because we want to do 5 things to support our main idea. So we're going to have something for our thumb and all of our other fingers to kind of support our main idea. So just think for a second, and then when you've got it, put your thumb up just like this. When you've got your fact and you're ready. Okay? You can think. Alright, Terrence, what's your fact?
That the wind will blow to where the wind is blowing.
Okay, the wind blows.
Where the wind is blowing.
Okay, so what tells us which way the wind is going?
The wind wheel?
The wind, that's close. Wind vane.
The wind wheel.
Alright. Christopher, are you ready?
Yeah.
Alright, what's yours? Good. Alright, Andrew, you ready? Alright, what's yours? Need me to come back to you? It's okay if you
I
need to
just
think more.
need a little bit.
Okay, that's fine. You need to think for a minute. Kylie, are you ready?
Yeah.
Alright, you go ahead. That's okay, think about it. Carson, do you have a fact about something that we read? That's not the wind vane or the thermometer? What's something else we just read in that story? about it?
Oh, your book up if you need
Yeah,
to.
you got alright, go ahead, Kylie.
A thermometer outside tells the weather.
Okay, well, we've got the thermometer, that's one Christopher gave us. The thermometer measures the temperature. So I think there were some other tools in there about rain. Hold on, let's give somebody else just a chance. So you hold on to that thought, okay? You ready, Andrew? Go ahead.
Rain and guide helps you how much rain has fallen.
Good.
Oh, that was mine.
That's okay. You gave a good one too. Keep still nose, let it rain all the way down. Alright, y'all find anything else yet? Okay, flip through your pages. So let's see, we've got the wind vane, the thermometer, and the rain gauge. What was that long, kind of hard word that we had to pronounce? Hold on, you got Andrew. You know what, Kylie? Anemometer. Okay, so do you know what that does? You can look back and see if you need to look. Tell me what an anemometer does.
It told that you speed of wind.
Kylie.
It tells how fast the wind is going.
Okay, that's the wind vane. That tells how fast on the direction. Okay. You're right. Sorry.
And then Kylie also, I think what she was trying to say earlier is that a thermometer can measure temperature outside or a thermometer can measure the temperature inside. So you can have two different temperatures. Like inside the school, it's a lot cooler than if we go out to recess in a few minutes. It's gonna be really hot out there. If we check the temperature, it's gonna feel cold, yeah. So you can have different temperatures inside and
That's right,
outside.
yeah.
Because our teacher,
It's cold in our room.
for the whole day, she just turned the temperature on a little, and then for the whole entire recess when she's in, she has the temperature on, and then when we come inside, it's really cold.
Yeah, that's how it feels nice after you're outside.
Okay.
Alright, can we get one more thing for our fifth supporting? Carson, can you think of anything that we haven't mentioned? Nothing?
Let's see if we can.
Let's see what we can find in this book. We learned about a lot of stuff.
We haven't did one thing. I know.
Alright, hold on. Let's see if Carson can get something out and then we'll hear him. What you got? It does. That's right. They can look as far as next week. That's a good one, Christopher.
When it's cold outside, like winter, they put out heaters and then their fruit don't freeze.
That's right. Good job.
If I think the rule is Katie saying golden events and solution or answer.
Okay.
So if I'm doing
Yeah, we'll have to do that one next time then, okay? Sound good?
But there's
What you got, Carson? Alright, let's listen to Carson. He's got something.
We don't get enough rain. We may not have enough water to drink.
That is a great fact, Carson. I knew you'd find something in there. May not have enough to drink. That would not be good. Does anybody know what that's called? If we don't get rain for a long, long time, and we don't have enough water to drink. Wait, you know what it's called, Andrew?
Yeah, our plants won't grow,
Mhm.
or, we won't have anything to drink.
Right, but it's called something. Do you know, Christopher?
It's
Starts with a
Starts with a D.
dehydration.
That is if you don't drink enough water. So that was, I'm very impressed about that. It's called a drought. If we don't get, if it doesn't rain outside for a long, long, long time, and we just don't have enough water, the ground's dry, the air's dry, that's called a drought. Okay? What?
Just like last month we had that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it hasn't rained for a while now, so we'll see.
Okay.
Good job, guys, you did a good job.
Yeah. Thumbs up if you learned something new about weather that you didn't know before we started. Thumbs up. Andrew? You learned something new?
Carson, you learned something new?
Yeah, so. Okay, alright, well you guys did a good job today. That's the end of guided reading.
All right, you can clear off your board already. Never mind.